Hello students. So today we are going to continue with the structure proposed by Niels Bohr in your standard 8 chapter number 5 inside the atom. Okay. In this chapter already we have seen variety of atomic structure starting from Dalton's atomic structure, then we have seen Thomson's atomic structure, and according to the fourth through his scattering experiment, he has explained a very important note that all the mass of the atom is present inside the nucleus and outside moving electrons are negligible in mass and all these things. After this, all the things have been explained by Niels Bohr through his postulates that atomic structure contains three types of subatomic particles inside the atom. Which parts are there? They are called as subatomic particles. Okay. So out of them, there is a nucleus. Inside the nucleus, there are protons which are positively charged. Inside the nucleus, there are neutrons which have no charge on them. Then we have some extra nuclear part. Extra nuclear means outside the nucleus, there are electrons which are negatively charged. And finally, the atom as a whole becomes a electrically stable particle because the positive charge in the nucleus and negative charge outside the nucleus are balancing each other. They are mostly equal, and the number of electrons in the extra nuclear part is equal to the number of protons mostly, and that is the number of protons is indicated by capital Z. Okay, capital Z indicates the number of proton. Therefore, electrical charge are balanced in an atom. Then we can very simply answer the questions given on the board. How many types of subatomic particles are found in an atom? Obviously, there are protons, neutrons, and electrons. Therefore, there are three subatomic particles in an atom. Now, which subatomic particle are electrically charged? Out of these three, we know that protons are positively charged and electrons are negatively charged, while neutrons do not have any charge. So protons, neutrons, and electrons are the three particles. Out of them, only two are having charges upon them. The next third question is which subatomic particles are present inside the nucleus? Inside the nucleus, we have protons and neutrons, while electrons are outside the nucleus. Okay, so electrons will not be included inside the nucleus. Fourth question is where are electrons revolving around the nucleus place? They are actually indicating the extra nuclear part. They are not inside the nucleus. Outside the nucleus in specially made orbits, they are moving. Just like our solar system, where the sun is the nucleus and all the planets are revolving around the sun in proper concentric orbits. These are also called as shells. And Niels Bohr have named them each and every shell. The first shell is the K shell, second shell is the L shell, and third is the M. Fourth will be N. So that way the shells are being named, and the mass of the electron being negligible, there the mass of the atom is mainly due to the protons and neutrons, which are strictly confined into the nucleus of the atom. The mass number is denoted by the symbol A. Mass number of an atom is denoted by symbol A, and number of protons inside the nucleus is denoted by symbol capital Z. Okay, the convention to denote atomic symbol, atomic number and mass number are together written in the following pattern. So symbol is written of any element. In that case, atomic mass number is written at the top on the left hand side of the symbol, and number of protons, that is Z, is written at the bottom of the symbol. That is the pattern followed. For example, we can take, say, carbon. Carbon is having number of protons 8 in an atom, and the atomic mass number include protons and neutrons. It will be 12 in some of the isotopes of carbon. Okay, here the atomic number, that is the proton number of carbon, is 6, or say 8 or 6 we can take. Some isotopes are having different variety, and that the atomic number, that is number of protons of carbon, is 6, and it is also learned that the nucleus of carbon contains 12 minus 6 neutrons. So if protons are 6, then atomic mass number means inside the atom we have only protons and neutrons. So when we minus from the atomic mass number the number of protons, we get the number of neutrons, isn't it? So the number of neutrons is 6 because atomic mass number is 12, that is 6 plus 6. Protons and neutrons came to be 12. So that way the symbols are being written, and atomic mass number and atomic number is being, that is number of protons, is being written on the left hand side. For example, one more we can take is of oxygen. Here in case of oxygen, you see there are 8 protons in oxygen nucleus. There are 8 protons and 8 neutrons. So 8 should be written in the number of protons, that is Z. Number of protons indicating Z, and the number of neutrons are also 6. Therefore, the atomic mass number capital A will be written at the top, and 8 plus 8 is 16. 8 to the 16, everyone knows that. That way we have to write down the symbol and atomic mass number as well as number of protons, that is indicated by Z. Okay. Now how are the electrons distributed in the orbits around this nucleus that we need to understand how it can be found out. For this purpose, scientists, especially Niels Bohr, have given us formula, a formula to find out the number of electrons distributed in K and shell and the consecutive shells. These shells have a definite energy. That much electrons can only be accommodated. The shell nearest to the nucleus is called the first shell and it has been named K. First shell is named K. The next shell is called the second shell and the A symbol, small n, is used for the ordinal number of the shell, that is K, N, M, N, etc. Now, number n, it could be 1, 2, 3, 4. In that case, as I told you, scientists have given us the formula 2n squares to find out which shell will accommodate how many number of electrons in it. So, as you all know that K shell is the first shell of any atom. In that case, when we insert this number 1 in the formula, 2n is number of shell and K is the conventional name of the shell. Name of shell, number of that shell in this formula to find out the number of electrons present in it. Obviously, the answer comes to 2. And K shell can accommodate only 2 number of electrons. For L shell, you can note down this chart. So L shell is the second shell of your atom. In that case, when we put down the number 2 in this formula for n, in that case, how much do we get? 2 to the 4. That's why the outcome is going to be 8 electrons. Number of electrons that can be accommodated in that shell. Okay. So L shell can accommodate 8 electrons in it. Next one, if you take M shell, is the third shell of your atom. In that case, 2, 3 squared will come out to be 3 to the 6, 6 to the 12. Three threes are 9, and that is going to be 18 electrons accommodated in the M shell. 3 square is 9, and 9 into 2 is coming out to be 18. If you go for N shell, which is the fourth shell of your atom, 2, 4 square will come out to be 4 to the 16 into 2, that is 32 electrons can be accommodated in the N shell. That way, with the conventional names and the number of shell, the electron number accommodating capacity is going to get increased in the atom. So always we have 2 shells in the K, 2 electrons in the K shell. In L orbit, or L shell we can accommodate 8, and that way we can find out the number of electrons that can be accommodated in the orbits around the nucleus of an atom. This chart is very important, and this 2n square formula also. Okay. Next thing that we'll be studying is the electronic configuration of elements. How electronic configuration are being done based on this study. Now, for example, in hydrogen, we have only one electron. In hydrogen atom, there are only one atom. For hydrogen, we have only one electron. In that case, if you have to draw an atom of hydrogen, we'll have to draw K shell with only one electron. Okay, K shell will accommodate only one electron. Next, if you go for helium, in helium there are 2 number of electrons in an atom. It is having 2 electrons in their atom. So how we will be drawing the atom of helium? This is the nucleus, and here we have to draw 2 electrons in helium. So you can see the orbit of hydrogen is incomplete. It can accommodate 2 electrons and having only one. So hydrogen gas alone will not be found in nature, hydrogen atom, because it will always try to make a combination with someone else to complete its outer orbit. On the other hand, helium gas is very stable because its shell is having 2 electrons, that is completing the K shell. So it is not going to go and make a combination with any other element to form a compound. So helium is always stable. If you go for further elements like lithium, lithium have 3 electrons in its atom. So the atom of lithium, how will you draw? You have to draw 2 orbits, K and L. Here, 2 electrons in the K shell and only 1 electron in the L shell. Okay, that way we can complete a chart of elements having how many number of electrons and how they are divided into first, second, third and fourth orbit, or K, L, M, N shells, how they are arranged. For that purpose, I shall send you a homework chart that you have to complete based on this knowledge, that K shell, that is the first shell, will accommodate only 2 electrons, second shell will accommodate only 8 electrons, third shell can accommodate 18 electrons, and furthermore. Okay, so I hope you can solve this chart with the information that you got today. And that's enough for the day. Thank you. Bye-bye.